What's the future of the New York City marketplace, do you think?
Well, I think there's three things that could potentially impact the market, and I think it's important to recognize that essentially since mid-2007, the relationship between economics, politics, and real estate has never been more closely aligned. And to that extent, I think the three things that we're concerned about moving forward for the commercial real estate market in New York are the interest rate policies and what happens with interest rates. To the extent that rates were up 200 basis points, they would still be at relatively low levels historically, but that would have a significant negative impact on the market. And for the reasons mentioned earlier, I think there's a number of reasons why rates could and probably should be higher than they are today. The second thing is the debt ceiling debate, which is coming up. You know, a lot of people point to the fiscal cliff negotiation and think that we dodged a bullet there and that everything is okay. We really accomplished very, very little in the resolution of the so-called fiscal cliff transaction. And I think that to the extent that some of the more fundamental issues are not dealt with, it's going to continue to be a drag on the economy. If you look at what has happened with entitlements and spending and our deficits, since S&P downgraded our long-term debt, there hasn't really been anything that's made the picture any brighter. We've added debt to our total debt. Our deficits continue to be at astronomical proportions. And to the extent that we don't get some kind of fundamental change in this next debt ceiling debate to our long-term problems, I don't see how the rating agencies are not going to give us further downgrades. And when S&P downgraded our long-term debt, you would have intuitively expected our interest rates to rise, but just the opposite happened. Now, why did that happen? Well, I think it's because
people thought it was going to be worse.
it sent a message to investors around the globe that, hey, if it can happen in the U.S., it can happen anywhere. So it was a tremendous flight to quality. Money rushed into our treasuries, and rates dropped. That worked once. I don't know that it would happen again. And so to the extent we get a downgrade, that could be one of the things that prompts rates to rise. But the fact that we haven't had a budget in 4 years, the fact that we're taking in $2.6 trillion a year and spending $3.9 trillion a year, you know, regardless what that money is being spent on, you can't continue to do that. It's like if you have a kid and they keep getting credit cards and running it up to the max, and then their solution to their debt problem is to go out and get another credit card. It doesn't work.
Well, ultimately they hand the bill to mommy and daddy, who have to reach into their reserves and pay it.
Exactly.